Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 28th of November, 2020, and welcome back to the channel. Interesting times, folks. This is a 10th stream. We haven't done a YouTube stream for some time. I've been, well, I went on my, what do you call it? I went on my 1 month holiday from YouTube. Let's just call it a holiday. Let's just call it resting YouTube. And that was happening right at a 10th stream. So we missed out on the 10th stream, or we didn't miss it. We just sort of put a hold on it for a little while. And now we're back. And it's exciting because today is a Jack Daniels opening. We're going to be opening this guy on this very stream. But we will engage the chit chat first. We'll have a little bit of a chat. This is the live stream. This is the time when we can all talk together. You know, my new stance on YouTube is to ignore, or not ignore, but just not be involved in the comments section on my videos. So I figured we could have a chat here. This is the best way to do this live. If you want to talk about anything, maybe we'll even have a little look at my YouTube channel from a distance, as it were. We'll take a look at YouTube as me unsigned, not signed in, and we'll have a look at my latest uploads. We'll make some comments about it. We'll have a chit chat. That's what I want to do here on this stream. I want to go and thank the givers up in the chit chat right now. Tim began with howdy all. G'day, Tim. I think he's not here now. Perd Beer. Hi, Tim. How's life? Hello, the internet. That's when I joined in. Sup, Gibbs. How's Germany right now? I asked Perd Beer. It's quiet here. I live near one of the major arterial roads into Berlin, and there are so few cars. We are 1 month into the semi-lockdown and really start to see the changes in behavior. So talking about COVID right there, COVID. See if I'm going to get dinged for saying the word here. I've heard of YouTubers getting dinged for mentioning COVID-19. Hasn't happened to me yet. Touch wood, it doesn't happen. My German is killing my English, Perdsky. There are so few cars. I understood what you meant. How's the land of Oz? I said, well, interestingly, we're moving into less restrictions and less of a lockdown here. It's definitely on the less side of things right now. We're on the other side of it all, I feel. We've got my brother, he came down from Queensland and to do some work in Sydney, and now they had changed the border requirements. If you'd been in certain lockdown areas of Sydney or certain hotspots in Sydney, you couldn't go back to Queensland. And so my brother's now in 2 weeks quarantine here. But he just went up to Sydney yesterday. So we're thinking he's now having to start the quarantine over again? No, they've changed the rules. As of the 1st of December, anyone can go across that border. It doesn't matter where you've been. So the thing is, it's changing all the time. But definitely, we're on the other side of it. It's moving into less and less restrictions, less and less everything. Yeah, I know you guys are popping off in Germany and in the States. Mindy, speaking of the States, hey Mindy, hello everyone. Your Siri video had me laughing. Right, okay, cool. I mean, isn't that a shitty smart assistant at that point, right? How many days in a week? It's Wednesday. No, how many days are there in a week? It's Wednesday. How many days in a week? There are 3 days until Wednesday. What? Mind-baffling. Mindy also said, I just got a hot tub, and I thought I'd give her the hot tip and say, if you have a hot tub, do not take your iPad in with you. They're not waterproof. I've got a new one because my other one took a bath. Do not take it anywhere near the hot tub. If you want it to work, they don't like the water. I can tell you now. I sold my old one, got $200 for it as a waterlogged iPad. Yes, the buyer did know. I made a video explaining it. I made a video showing it working. So I wasn't trying to scam anyone, but I did sell a waterlogged iPad with a cracked screen for 200 hot ones. So, Purge says, we reported another 1,500 cases of corona in Germany. Crikey, dude. That's heavy. I mean, we're getting maybe 1 or 2 a day in certain states. Sometimes we get none in certain states. Incredible. Perdbeer, 12 new deaths and 1,400 cases. Crikey, Perdbeer. I mean, that's like what it was when it was popping here. It's off the rails. And Mindy, my hospital is filling up with patients for counties that don't require masks. So stupid. So those places that don't require masks are now bringing in more and more patients, and they're coming into your hospital. Wow. Podsky says, at some point, I think you would need to accept you're going to get it, or you got to go into total isolation. I mean, that would be the only way to verify that you're not going to get it if you're in 100% lockdown, right? They're mulling over the New Year's Eve fireworks. This is in Germany. It looks like it'll be banned as they don't want the morons who hurting themselves showing up in the hospitals. Right, because the hospitals are too full. Shit. Pertsky says they're talking about banning it before Corona, so it looks like it might be the end of that tradition. Wow. Mindy says that sucks. I love fireworks. We've had fireworks banned in this country. Man, it feels like since I was a kid. Like I remember probably when I was about 11 that they banned it. So that's 107 years ago. A long time ago, right? They banned it. Understandably, Australia being a hot climate, Australia being bush, lots of bushland, lots of forests everywhere, and fireworks, you know what happens. House fires and shit. Over in America, you can get them anytime, and in Germany, they're only available from the 27th of November and through to the 1st of Jan. Bird Beer had to split to go and roll one. Had to roll a hot one. Delay the stream. A YouTube rest. That's what it was. It was a rest on YouTube. Clintos, welcome back. Enjoy the Jack. Thank you, Clintos. How you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. I didn't give anyone else chooses, but you get one. Hey, Clint. G'day, Gibbs. And the Giver's Rob Mack in the house. Rob Mack, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you all the way over from the D-Live machine. Sup, Rob? There you go. Not 1400 in Germany. That's just Berlin, Perdbeer says. Oh, shit. Just in Berlin. Crikey. Well, folks, that's the chat. Let's bring it up on the screen so we can all follow along. Appreciate you being here. Interestingly enough, there isn't any of the shit going down in my chat that I expected. Now, what am I talking about? Well, this week on D-Live, did I mention I've got a D-Live channel? Shit, I'll just pop it in the chit chat for you to go and find if you want to go and see me on D-Live. I did what I said I would never do, right? I said I would never restream. Do you know what restreaming is? If you're a streamer, you're not sure what restreaming is, or if you're a viewer? Well, restreaming is when you take a service and you send a stream, instead of sending the stream directly from your computer at home to the platform, you send it via a service, and that service then on-sends it to whichever platform you choose. And you can choose multiple platforms at the same time. So a lot of streamers have been telling me, and there's one what's his name? I watch a little bit of his stuff on YouTube. I can't recall the gentleman's name. He's got a real nasally voice when he speaks. He's a commentator, I suppose, on gaming and Twitch. And he talks about restreaming, and he talks about how important restreaming is to grow a channel. Now, I categorically disagree with that. I don't think you should ever send the stream that you're sending to a platform shouldn't go to every other platform, because you're not being genuine about your audience on that platform at that point. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got to have a focus, you've got to have attention. So every streaming platform's got a different thing, a different shtick. D-Live, it's got lemons, it's got crypto now. That's the D-Live. My Eunice, wow, all that stuff, right? That wouldn't make sense. If I was streaming that shit onto YouTube, it wouldn't make sense, because you'd be like, did he just say my Eunice? Wow, what the hell is that? What's all this lemon? And then you got these different chats popping off, and you can't address each chat properly. It's the wrong thing to do, and I've been dead against it. However, what's his name? Someone Nash, not Eric Nash. That's a skateboarder. Devin Nash. That's the guy's name on YouTube. Devin Nash. He talks about restreaming and how it's the greatest thing ever, and you should do it. I've always said no to it, except I had a thought last week how it could work. And this is a bit cheeky, right? So what I've done is I've taken my streams on D-Live, and instead of going straight to D-Live, I go through restream.io, which is one of those broadcasters, multi-platform, and I send it to Facebook, send it to Twitch, send it to YouTube, and I also send it to Trovo. And by the way, if you have any others that I'm missing, let me know and I'll add them to the list. But it goes to my personal Facebook page, It goes to my photography Facebook page. It goes to my Gives a Minute Facebook page. It goes to the Gives a Minute YouTube channel. It goes to the Twitch YouTube channel. It goes to the Trovo YouTube DLive channel. What? Gives a Minute channel. Shit. And it goes to DLive. And what I've been doing, I've been expressly saying that this stream, that if you're watching this on Facebook or if you're watching this on YouTube, you're only going to get the first half hour or so of the stream. I'm giving you guys a little tease, if you like. I'm casting the line out and I'm letting it sit in the ocean of different platforms, and I want you to bite on it. And when I reel it in, I'm going to reel you in to DLive. So I want to pull you over to the DLive machine. There's two reasons for this. I want to build the DLive audience. I want to build the DLive platform. But I also want you guys to see what happens. And when I say you guys, I mean anyone watching on another platform. And by the way, today, right now, we're not restreaming. Today, we're just doing a YouTube stream. This is specific to YouTube. But the restream ones, I'll address the other platforms and I'll say, don't get too cozy here, because at some point, I'm going to cut it. Just literally, not even going to be an ending. It's just going to be a cut. And if you want to continue watching, you have to come over to DLive. Now, there is another reason why I do that, and it's pretty obvious. On DLive, we're not getting tapped with DMCA takedowns. We're not getting copyright strikes or anything for commercial music at this point. That may happen, right? This may come. But at this moment in time, what are we, the 28th of November 2020? It's still good. So I can broadcast, like I can play a Tracer song on my DLive stream on a slightly random daily song and not get dinged for it. But if that was to happen on YouTube, anything up until Water for Thirsty Dogs, I'd get dinged because the record label owns that. So that's where it cuts off. When I start playing a slightly random daily song and you're watching it on any of those platforms, unless you come over to dlive.tv/givesaminute, it'll just cut off for you. And I kind of like that idea. I like that concept. I gotta say, I've not seen anybody else doing that with Restream. No one else is tapping into that sort of feature of it. People that do use Restream use it as a grab, I guess, just to smash their content as far and as wide as possible. I think that's disingenuous. I think that's phony, and I'm not going to do it. But I am going to use Restream as a little sample, if you like, a little tinkling of the toes in the water, a little, just a little touch there. Go for it. But why I said about the chat here, why I started this conversation about surprised about what's not happening in my chat, is because today, apparently, now I don't look at this shit, I don't care, right? But yesterday, whilst I was restreaming my DLive stream to YouTube, apparently there was a lot of trolls in my YouTube chat, and I had Suki Smackhouse, who is a regular on DLive, coming into my DLive saying, have you seen your YouTube chat? You need some moderation over there. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a... How far are we into this? We're only 18 minutes. I don't give a poo-poo about that, because I'm going to delete that as soon as it's finished anyway. Have I deleted that? I don't even know. I might not have deleted it yet. Those streams are not permanent streams, right? You do whatever you want in that chat. I'm not there. Today, though, YouTube stream, I'm in the chat. I'm with you. I'm conversing with you. If I see any shit go down, you're out of here. But it's interesting that no one's here giving shit. By the way, folks, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that notification button to make sure you don't miss whenever I go live or whenever I upload next. That's YouTube. Now, in the chat, I don't like restreaming, but it makes more sense for the really popular streamers. Why would it make more sense for the more popular streamers? It would, if anything, Perdbeer, it would only make sense for the less popular streamers to get that more extended reach. Why would someone like Logan Paul, or why would heaven forbid Rogan, if he was still doing YouTube, why would he need to restream? They've already got millions of viewers. Why would they need more? Mindy says, just in my small country there was 10,000 cases this week, 17. Whoa, that's just insane. I'll restrain myself from getting political. It will improve soon. I didn't get any notifications for that stream. Now that's interesting, Perdbeer. I wonder if you don't get notifications for restreaming. That'd be interesting. Speaking of streaming and speaking of YouTube, let's go over to my channel as a unsigned in viewer, I want to see how my channel is looking this week, and maybe we can talk a little about the channel. In fact, you know what? Maybe we should do the Jacks first. What am I saying? Let's do the Jack first, right? Because if you're just here for the Jack Daniels, if you're just here for the opening, maybe we should knock that out of the park first, and then we'll have a little look at my channel and we can talk about, you know, if you've put a comment in there and I haven't addressed it, this is the time to sort of bring that up. Pud Beer, popular streamers have the chat going like a waterfall anyway, so that chat doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't touch the chat on a restream. I only talk to my DLive chat. I make a point of that. I say, if you're watching this on Facebook, hello, but I'm not going to be talking to you in terms of conversing. If you want to have a chat with me, you've got to be on DLive in that chat. I'm very keen to grow DLive as a platform, and my personal DLive channel gives a minute. But I see what you're saying. A lot of big streamers do not really worry too much about their chat. They, like PewDiePie, for instance, doesn't even engage his chat. I wonder, this stream has gone out to subscribers. I'm wondering about that at this point. I don't know. If you don't get a did you guys get notifications for this stream today, or did you just not? And by the way, if you haven't tapped that notification bell, make sure you do that and put on all notifications. I'm not uploading as much as I used to. Get slammed with constant gives a minute crap, but if you want to make sure you get notified, you've got to hit that notification bell. Also, if you are here specifically for Jack Daniels, if that's your thing, I want to tell you, I'm putting a link in the chit chat right now. Now, this is going to be a series of links. Now, what these are is, these are the openings. We've opened up Jack Daniels once every 10 streams for a long while now. And what's happening, it's a bot that's putting in timestamped links to every single bottle we've opened. So if you're watching this as a replay, and it's been a year or so since we broadcasted this live, and you want to see all of the openings, including the one that we're about to do today, well, these little links that are getting popped in there, these are the ones, it's the timestamp. Just click that link and it will take you to a previous live stream, timestamped exactly when we opened it, starting off with the 1907, then Tennessee Fire, and it's going to go, that's going to keep pumping up those notifications for quite some time. Mindy, I got the notifications for today. Oh, cool, thanks. Perdbeat, I'm definitely getting less notifications for you since you came back before I got all of them. Oh, that's interesting. And you didn't change anything, Perdbeer? You didn't change a thing at your end? That's very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if that's YouTube punishing me for taking time off. By the way, I will tell you this, and there's Legacy Edition number 1. Wow, Legacy Edition 1. As the green bottle, right? Yeah, the green bottle. I will tell you this, since I've been gone and come back, my viewership has gone up, my earnings have gone up. In fact, the only thing, and sorry, my subs have gone up too. The only thing that has changed is that, oddly enough, completely, like legitimately, I'm seeing less comments, but my viewership has gone up, my sub count has gone up, and my earnings have gone up. But I'm seeing less comments, which is kind of weird given my stance on not answering comments. Timsky, I got notifications at midnight last night. Really? I gave you a thumbs up straight off the counter when whoever left. Oh, is there a thumbs down on here? Well, folks, I forgot to tell you, if there's thumbs downs, we got to change all that. We got to get the thumbs up on this stream. Tennessee Honey opening, that was beautiful. I'm just watching the ones come up because I remember all these. Then we opened up the old number 7 1 liter. So the idea of this project is that we will never, ever, ever repeat a bottle. So there's old number 7, the black label with a 1 liter, but there will also be a couple of other ones in there. That is really interesting, Pudby. Yeah, right? It is interesting how that's worked. It's like, I mean, why would my viewership go up? I guess subs going up directly relates to views going up. So the views go up, the subs go up. Sorry, the subs go up, the views go up, therefore your earnings go up. Although, hang on a second, they did change the monetization so that you now get pre-roll, mid-roll, and post-roll on an 8-minute video, whereas it used to be only on a 10-minute video that you'd get mid-rolls. And there's old number 7, 50 mil. Red Dog Saloon. Oh wow, that was beautiful. I wasn't sure if you wanted us to leave comments. Mindy, no. I should have been clear about that. I really want you guys to have fun in the comments field. I'm happy for you to chat amongst yourselves in the comments of a video. Just don't expect a reply from me. That's all I'm saying. And if you have put up a pertinent question, I'd like to use these weekly live streams as the time to, like let's say you've got a real solid question that I should answer, right? And you put it in the chat, in the comments field. Well, you could address me to that today. You could say, hey, dude, I actually made a pretty important comment on that video. Can you at least answer it on the live stream? That's how I want to engage the comments field. I don't want to go in there and answer, shave your armpit hair, you big hairy man. Next time you take a pee in a wetsuit, make sure you film it. I don't want to touch any of that shit, right? I did the old number 7 1 liter opening like myself last night. You did, Rob Mac. That was fun, dude, in that chat. That was a good stream last night on D-Lab. That homebrew beer, wow, dude. I got 2 more in the fridge for today. It's going to be 38 here today as well. It's already, I'm sweating here, but it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Wow. YouTube is still soft blocking against creators who criticize the performance and attitude of YouTube. How do you know that for a fact, Tim? How do you know that, dude? Rested Tennessee Rye opening and tasting. There you go. We got a few up there, haven't we? Goose's Bold Selection, 2019. Tennessee Tasters Hickory Smoked. So that was the first Tennessee Taster we tested. And we're opening up the number 3. I think we missed the second one in the collection. By the way, right about now might be a great chance to thank all of you people, all of you givers who have donated financially to the content. In particular, if you've donated to the Jack Behind Me Fund. I know Mindy has. I know Rob Mack has in the past, and Sin Master, who's not here, he definitely has. That's how I've afforded to purchase this. Your beautiful helps with that have enabled me to buy. This is not a cheap whiskey, not a cheap one. We'll explain why in a second, but yeah, for sure, some are being blocked in my feed. There you go, Perd Beer. Tennessee Rye, 50ml opening. 50ml opening of Tennessee Rye. That one came directly from Charlotte Rose. Soft blocking is YouTube not advertising or promoting creators or their videos or live streams. Oh, Tim, that's been happening on my channel from that. If that's what's happening, soft blocking, that's happened from the moment my snorkel mask video peaked and then dropped off. I've been soft blocked ever since then. Old number 7, 200ml opening and tasting. It's going to be 40 here today and tomorrow, Rob. Shit. Oh, dude, that's heavy. That's heavy. 40 degrees Celsius. Crikey. And I just went out and had a look at the ocean and the swell looks garbage. It's all onshore and messy. I want to go somewhere where there's good waves on such a hot day. I feel like that's the last one there. Oh no, old number 7, 35 centiliter opening. What was the last bottle we opened? I feel like there's one more coming. But that's all done as a bot, so if you're interested in checking out those openings, please, by all means, go ahead and take a look at those links. Hit those links up individually, and you can go straight to the timestamp where we open them. Always in a green shirt, always in this shirt. This is my Jack shirt. I don't know why. I just chose it for the first time we did a Jack opening. Got my late father's cufflinks on. Oh, there it is, the old Barrel House, Cave Spring. Yeah. The old Barrel House from the Cave Spring chapter 1. We didn't do chapters 2 and 3, and we're not going to do chapters 4, 5, and 6. If you want to investigate that, you have to go to the old Barrel House and buy it yourself. But folks, what I want to do right now, let's have a look at this puppy. This is incredible, folks. This is Tennessee Taster number 3 in the collection. Barrel Reunion number 1, which leads you to believe that there is a Barrel Reunion number 2 as well. Now, what are barrel reunions? So these guys, and in particular this one, this was matured. This is Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. It's matured in the regular barrel, right? The way they do number 7, old number 7, the same process. But then what happens? They take that barrel, they use that barrel to age red wine. Now you might say, red wine? From Jack Daniel's distillery? Yeah, they make wine there. I've never seen it available for purchase, right? I don't know where it goes, but they use the barrel that's matured Tennessee whiskey. They use that same barrel. They don't even clean it, right? They just put the red wine in it and then they let the red wine age in that barrel. Then they take that red wine out. They put the whiskey back in. And after that's been sitting resting for a certain amount of time, I think it tells you on here, rested at least 223 days. So that whiskey goes back into that red wine barrel, and then they make these. They get these from those barrels. Now this is a very small bottle, 375 mils, a very small bottle. Limited edition. This one was only available in the USA and only available in the spring of 2019. If you can still find one of these, good luck, right? They're so limited, so small quantity. The tasting notes here, I don't know how accurate these tasting notes will be, but it says caramel and oak with whispers of cherry and blackberry. Are you hearing this? This is mind-bending, right? This is going to be the strangest taste. It's hand-selected by the master distiller Jeff Arnett, and it's 45% by volume, so it's got a lot of pop to the bang, to the fizz, to the tick, to the tack. It's an expensive bottle. In Australian dollars, 240 Australian dollars. 240 Australian dollars for 375 ml. Let me just remind you, a regular bottle is 700 ml. This is less than half. 375 ml. Crazy, right? Timsky, soft blocking. Yeah, there you go. She compared the notifications in channel. Okay, you guys are talking about soft blocking. So, without any further ramblings, how about we open this sucker and I'll tell you what it actually tastes like. I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked for this. I got myself a glass here. I'm pretty stoked to be doing this. This has been sitting on my shelf for well more than 10 weeks. Usually it's a 10-week bottle that we have up there. This has been up there for probably close to 20 weeks. No. At least 15 weeks because of my month off YouTube, then some COVID stuff. So it's about time we crack this, and I'm gonna do it right now. Oh, crikey. Holy moly. What? That's, you know what? That's got a real... It smells like... It smells like old banana. Like, there's a definite banana flavor to Jack Daniels, right? You cannot deny that. You can smell banana. One time I thought I had bananas in my car. I thought there was bananas rotting in Stevan. It's because I had a bottle of Jack in the back that was leaking. But this smells like, this smells like sort of like old banana. Oh, wow. I kind of want to shake it up. Shake it, fake it, make it, taste it. I just want to see if that makes a difference because I want to activate those molecules. That didn't make too much of a difference. It's sort of, I can't explain it. It's like, it's the same. It's definitely the same banana you get from Old Number 7 from the Black Label, but there's something, there's like an afterbite. It's kind of, it's a little fruity on the nose. It's getting into those nasal passages. All right, let's have a little look at this. I'm gonna put that over there so I don't drop it. If I knock it over, half of it will go. Very interesting. Huh. Huh? What? I'm at a loss here. I can't work out what this is. I want to cover my whole mouth in it. Total banana. I'm getting old. Like, all I can feel at this point is old. Something old. Like, it's something that's been sitting there too long, maybe. What did they say? What was the tasting notes again? Caramel and oak with whispers of cherry and blackberry? It's got caramel in here for you Americans? Caramel? Hang on. Yeah, the caramel is extremely mild. What does it say? Oak? Oak? Maybe a little oak? Not much. Whispers, so it says caramel and oak with whispers of cherry and blackberry. Okay, so there's less cherry and less blackberry. Doesn't even mention banana? I'm kind of hearing the caramel now. I cannot hear the cherry or the blackberry. It's certainly, it's an individual taste here. I cannot kind of work out exactly what it is, but it's not what it said there. Maybe it expired. No. This is bottled in 2019. It can't have expired. I'm just trying to like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything, like when I say old, I'm not saying that the product's expired or anything. I'm just saying that I'm getting the vibe of kind of like, sounds a lot of wank. I'm kind of getting the vibe of going into an old room and there's like sheets covering up the chairs and you pull back the dust and all that kind of crap. There's cobwebs. That's kind of the weird vibe I'm getting here. It's a smooth whiskey, right? Jack Daniel's typically is smooth with a little bite. This one's a bit smoother. There's still a little bite there though. Interesting. Well, folks, that's the Barrel Reunion #1 Tennessee Taster. I've just tried some neat. I'm going to leave it at that, but we are going to be drinking from this on the D-Live stream later on today. We're going to be drinking from more. I'm going to also try mixing it with Coke. I'm going to put some on the rocks. So we're going to mix it up a little. We're going to have some on the rocks and we're going to have some with Coke later on. But I'll put that aside and we'll enjoy that later on. But right now, thank you again for those supporters who have donated for me to be able to buy that crap, because that's expensive. 240 bucks Australian. Shit. But in the chat, what are you guys talking about? So Tim says, interesting, on my screen, it appears as though one of my earlier comments has been ghosted out. Interesting. Tim, what did you put? What did you write? Perd, can you see my comment that starts off with an American female creator was? I did see that, I think. Back up in the chit chat. No, I don't see that actually. No, I don't see that, Tim. I don't see that. I do see the comment where you said, you went straight into, she compared the notification and channel suggestion figures from past videos, proved the difference and accused YouTube of interfering. She won the argument, was totally blocked for about 30 days. So I saw that comment. I didn't see anything else. Could you put that comment, Tim, because you probably still have it on your chat, could you copy and paste it again? Also, how about this for a little test? Tim, why don't you copy and paste it into the chat now, and also copy and paste it into a YouTube Messenger, not a YouTube, a Facebook Messenger comment, and a chat to me, a DM, and I'll post it in here and see what happens if I post it. But that's interesting. So let's, while Tim's doing that, let's go over to the YouTube channel and let's just take a look here at my channel. And if they've got anything that you want to address, you want to chat with me about, there we go. I'm live. Oh, let's go and see how many dislikes we got here. We got 1 dislike. We got 4 likes. We got to get those likes up, folks. We got to get those likes up, up, up. Crank those likes up. If you haven't liked this video already, smash the like button. Get it up there. Get it up there. I'll leave that open so we can compare later on. So let's take a look at previous uploads. So this one went up earlier this morning. Should we take a look at that? No comments. Okay. No comments there. Waterloo Ramp. And thank you for the likes and no dislikes. Thank you very much for that, folks. Appreciate you. Chris Child, gotta love old analog video. I got more 8mm video camera in my collection than HD ones. They simply keep on coming and a joy to use. They don't keep on going. I gotta tell you, 8mm camcorders are prone to breaking. The C31 era, crikey. Lime says good one. Thomas Day with a smiling face. Thank you, Thomas Day. Wave a day. Oh, a wave a day begins 2 days from now, December 1. Timsky, an American female creator, was suspicious why she wasn't getting the same support recognition by YouTube. She was told about soft blocking by a viewer, so she created other accounts to view her main channel. Okay, so that one came up this time, Tim. I appreciate this, folks. I'm not seeing any dislikes. There's 17 likes versus 0 dislikes. Thumbs up, peeps, from beat after beat. Very cool. Thank you for the support here. It's just great to see. We're not getting disliked. This one here, setup times. I made a full video of me setting up my new Secret Labs Titan soft weave chair. This is me actually setting it up in real time. Got 1 dislike to 9 likes. No worries. Walker asks, how much did that chair cost you? Walker, if you're here, 719. No. Yeah, 720 bucks. I noticed on political streams, a lot of my contributions get nuked per beer. Interesting. Either by the channel creator or by YouTube. And so the last one that we've got here on that top carousel. So this is a lyric video for the quote-unquote Santa song by That's 6 likes versus no dislikes. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much for if you're liking my content, thank you for liking it. And it's showing to those mass bots that come in and dislike, it's showing that everything's cool here. We like the content. What about if we speak openly and freely about this? What are your guys' thoughts on my new branding? What are your guys' thoughts on the way this all looks here on the live and also on certain videos? I had to retype it. Couldn't simply copy it. Who would be nuking them and on what grounds or basis? Well, they've got rules and regulations here, Tim. You play on YouTube, you play by their rules. I'm not saying controversial things. Interesting. You think it's by YouTube, Perd Beer? Wow, interesting. I mean, here's something that... Get him out of there. Here's something I will say to both Tim and Perd Beer, and this might come as a little bit of a shock, maybe a little bit... You might think I'm being a bit rude, but at this point, you guys don't have an avatar, and I'm assuming you've got just a blank channel, so you do look suspiciously like a troll account. If you put up some kind of content of your own, and if you put up an avatar and an about section and blah, 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 you might appear to YouTube as a legitimate viewer on the platform as opposed to potentially another troll account. I'm just saying, right? When you just have the default T and P like you do have, I'm just saying, I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'm saying that that's what YouTube, they might rank you differently. I know certain platforms don't allow certain things until you do certain things. Like if you go to Twitch, you've got to do a set of different steps before you can even start streaming. One of them includes putting up an avatar, right? Mindy said it looks cool. Thank you, Mindy. Tim says, Bannon, I'm loving the new page artwork and graphics. Thank you, Tim. Cheers, man. Perd, I like the branding, but I don't like how your normal videos seem like live streams. Ah, that's because they are. They're using the same sort of profile, and I'm doing it in one go. That's because I wanted to make it easier and longer so that I can get more ad revenue in there. That's exactly what I made this point yesterday on DLive. Up until November, or up until we took October off, up until September 2015. What? Up until September 2020, those first 5 years of my YouTube career, that's me. What you see on all those old videos, all those daily vlogs, all those live streams, that's me. Anything you see past November 2020 and going into the future, that's not me. That's me being YouTube. I'm not being myself. I am being the YouTube that they want me to be. I've done 5 years of being me on YouTube, and I got a massive spike from a semi-viral video, and then all I've seen is constant downhill burying. So I'm not going to be me on YouTube. I'm going to be what they want me to be. And that includes longer form videos. That includes don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And that includes stupid thumbnails with lots of arrows pointing everywhere and big deep etched outlines and all that crap that they want, because that's what YouTube want me to do. So for instance, if you made a video about a glass, let's just say this was the video, I'm going to review this new form of glassware. You'd have a picture on the thumbnail of me pointing at the glass, then there'd be like unbreakable glass question mark and 7 different arrows in a circle pointing to it. And then not only would you see me, but you would see me with an outline around my head and around the glass, big thick white outline. And then maybe there'd be a picture of shattered glass behind me. And I'd be like, and that's not what I want to do, right? I don't like that. I think that's god awful. But that's what YouTube tell you you have to do. You need to make an engaging thumbnail. And if every other dick's doing those engaging crap thumbnails, you got to do the same. So I'm doing it. I hate it, but I'm doing it. Just be aware of that though. When you see me on YouTube and it's after, well, anything from here on inwards for the next 5 years, it's not me, it's YouTube. It's not Benon you're seeing there. It's Gibbs a Minute playing the YouTube game. The music is nice. Thanks, Birdbeer. Thank you. I'm digging that. I got a real strong aftertaste then when I finished it. What was that aftertaste? That was oaky. At that point, there was oak in there. Interesting. So folks, what have I missed on YouTube? What's been happening this week? Hit me up. Tell me what's been going on YouTube. What have you been watching on YouTube? How's the platform? Aside from you guys seen the new monetization rules? Thing is, you don't need to be in the AdSense program to have ads run on your videos now. YouTube can put ads on any video they want and they keep all the royalties. Did you know that happened? Prior to that, if you wanted to run ads on your content, you had to apply to be in the AdSense program, the Google AdSense program. That would put you in YouTube Partner Program, and then you would have the ability to choose whether they run ads on your content. Now, YouTube have just said, you know what? We're going to put ads on all content, whether you like it or not. And if you're not in the YouTube Partner Program, we'll just keep all the revenue ourselves. You see how dubious that sounds? We're going to put ads on all the content that we want, regardless of whether you fall into our YouTube Partner Program at all. And then what we'll do is we'll just take all the rewards to ourselves. That's dubious. That is real dubious from YouTube. But that's what's happened. But yeah, it's a changing in the platform itself when they have to go to that level of extremities to monetize all content and then keep all revenue. I mean, I got an example. Mindy, I've really gotten into the Chateau Diaries, really cool personalities. We did the Chateau Diaries. Did we see those guys? The Chateau Diaries. The Chateau Diaries. I find that word hard to spell. There we go. The Chateau Diaries. Now, I don't want to play anything here in case I get dinged, but let's have a look. Oh, crikey. The Chateau Diaries. Man, I'm sweating the storm here. It's pretty damn hot. Experience life in a French chateau. Join me, Stephanie, as my weekly vlogs show you what it's like to be the chatelaine of a 16th century castle. Life at the Chateau de Landel is a whirlwind of decoration, renovation, cooking, traveling, hosting, and most of all, love and laughter. New vlog every Thursday. Please click and subscribe. Pretty cool. Well, a friend found a nice 34-gram gold nugget on a hunt I was have to have gone on, but I had travel restrictions. Oh, so I couldn't go. 34 grams of gold. Interesting, Henry. Timsky, interesting. How much would that be worth out of... speaking of monetary values, have you guys... Perdby, I know you've made comments in the Discord. What are your thoughts on Hex? Has anybody seen what's going on with Hex? Anybody know what Hex is? Anybody seen my DLive cryptocurrency streams? You know what Hex is? Very interesting. I'm 5 weeks into Hex, and before that I didn't know anything about anything like that, and now I got 4 stakes in Hex. 4 stakes down. Pretty cool. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't like cryptocurrency and you're not interested in Hex, that's fine. But one thing I've noticed, it's come with a very, very cool community. So we're seeing a bunch of very, very unique individuals from the Hex, or even just from the overall cryptocurrency community. We've now embraced them on DLive, and they've embraced me, which is really refreshing, because I'm now reaching another audience, and they're engaging in my streams. And outside of the crypto stuff too. So I had, what's his name, Hexymofo come in last night during a cap game, hung out for the whole stream. They're not just there for the crypto stuff. It's pretty cool. I don't really understand it all. Yeah, Mindy, I guess the simplest way to look at Hex is as an American, you know it as a debt. So we have banks, right? Banks take your money for a certain amount of time, which you agree, and you lock it down for a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever. Then when you withdraw that money, you take out the principal plus interest, because the banks take your money and loan it out and make money off it. So at this point, there is no equivalent of that on the blockchain. There's no concept of a time deposit, or we call it a term deposit in Australia, a time deposit in crypto as on the blockchain as a crypto. That doesn't exist. So Hex was built literally to fill that void. So you can make a time deposit of cryptocurrency on the blockchain and earn a reward for, again, it's called staking. So the longer you stake, the more reward you earn, same as a term deposit. I just stay with the dollar and PayPal. Well, I appreciate that, Mindy. I appreciate you for that. And that's why I have the variety of different ways to donate and whatnot. But Perd Beer, all I know is there are a lot of people pushing it on DLive, and in IIRC, the founder has serious allegations against him. I saw a golden video. This gentleman's name's Richard Hart, where he totally annihilated the interviewer. Like, it was so. People are calling it out as a Ponzi. It's totally not a Ponzi scheme. It's totally not. And by the way, we've got examples in my own chat where people have come in. There's a gentleman, one of the, they call them Hexicans, right? The supporters of Hex, they call them Hexicans. One of the Hexicans came in with a story of a friend of his who took out, so he invested, what was it, 700, he invested $700 US into Hex, and within 3 months, he'd paid off his entire school debt with the compound interest that his stake over the next 3 months had earned. He paid off his student loan in one go. So 34 grams equals 2,000 Australian based on current purity. Oh, interesting. Interest in, if I recall correctly. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a lot, Tim. $2,000 to find an 18 karat gold nugget in the bush. That's rad. Just on the Hex thing, I don't want to go too deep, but the idea of it is very unique. Now, I've been lucky and I haven't invested any cold hard cash, right? I haven't gone to my bank and said I need to take out a loan, or I need to take out some of my savings. I want to put it on Hex. But what I have done over on DLive, you earn cryptocurrency in the form of BitTorrent token, and I've used to take all that at the end of the week and stake it into DLive. But since Hex has come around, I've been taking part of my BTT stream content reward. So this is what DLive give me for streaming. I've been taking parts of that and really enjoying the process of taking BTT, converting it to US dollars. First of all, sending BTT from my TronLink wallet to my Poloniex account, then in Poloniex converting BTT to US dollars, converting US dollars to Ethereum, taking Ethereum to Hex, taking the Hex into my MetaMask wallet, and then staking it on Hex. And I've been doing that with the bonuses that DLive give me. So I haven't been taking any coin out myself, but I've just been putting things in different areas. And then I had so much, like, the donations from the hexagons to get involved. Someone dropped 50,000 hex on me. Like, I'd done all my stakes, right? I think I did 3 at that point, or 2. I'd done two stakes. I did a 5-5-5-5, which is a 15 year stake. It'll come out when I'm turned 60. That stake will come to fruition when I turn 60. I did the 15 year, I did a 10 year, I did a 1 year, and I did a 150 day stake. And after I'd done those first 2, the 5-5-5 and the 5 year, I was about to sign out, and some dude goes, I just put in 50,000 hex into your account, dude. Have another stake. That's worth $360 at that point. He just dropped $360 in hex as I was about to leave, and I was like, well, shit. Let's go and do another stake. So that's the community that I'm sort of getting at, the crypto community on DLive. It's pretty cool. I didn't think we'd get that deep involved in this. I didn't think that would be a thing, but I'm seeing it. I'm enjoying it more and more as we do dig deeper. Benon, Jacob, you're Digging Australia, doing very well on his channel. He featured on channel. Oh, no, I saw that. I left him a comment. I had to speak with him. That does not make it a Ponzi. Those who get in early always do well. Yeah, Perdbeer, I suggest. I mean, we could probably take a look at this now. What was his name? Well, it's Richard Hart with someone. Let's go over here. Richard Hart and someone on UV or something. Yavin, that might have been it. Yavin. Yeah, this was the interview on Yavin of Coin Intelligence confronting Richard Hart. I mean, this interview. I hope we can watch it. Let's see if we can watch it. Oh, hold on a second. I didn't set this up correctly. I did not set this up correctly. So that's Firefox, isn't it? I got to add a new. Sorry about this, folks. I didn't put in an audio source for that. Do you want to watch this, Perdby? Do you want to watch this? Let me just ask you if you want to watch this first. If you want to watch this stuff, we will. I'll just have to set the audio up. I can do it pretty quickly. Got it there. Let's just see if that comes through.
With Yavin and Richard Hart. Welcome back. Richard, hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Shiva. Why don't we just dive into our...
So for those that are wondering, it'd be interesting. Okay, cool. Let's take it. So for those that are wondering, this gentleman here on the left is Richard Hart. He is the creator of Hex. This gentleman here is a, well, let's just call him a reporter. He reports on different cryptos and he digs in and asks questions about Hex. And it comes, I mean, it's a 35-minute interview. We could probably watch it all. Yeah, you know what? Let's watch it all because it ends really, really well. Richard Hart slams this guy, and if anyway, I don't want to ruin it, but let's watch it.
For a discussion today, I'll explain. First, I'll introduce myself, and this introduction is going to be a bit different than my morning introduction.
And if you want to ask questions, please ask questions away. Like, let's make this interactive. Let's make this enjoyable. And let's not, like, regardless of where you fall on Hex or cryptocurrency, let's make this more of an opportunity to knowledge up, right? Skill up, get some knowledge here. Because, you know, we're all here to learn.
And this fireside chat is going to be completely different than the one I had this morning. So I'll just make a brief introduction. I founded Cointelligence almost 3 years ago, and Cointelligence main business was analyzing blockchain and crypto companies We've analyzed 100 different blockchain and crypto companies until today. Some of it was a part of our rating system. Some of it was a part of different types of research and different types of reasons. And we've called out almost 100 different scams until today. We've been busy. And the reason that I decided to invite Mr. Richard Hart for today's fireside chat is for the reason that Hex is considered to be one of the biggest MLM Ponzi scams of our industry.
So this addresses literally your comments, Perdbeer. Totally addresses them. And yeah, you got one person accusing one of the other thing, and of course there's a right to reply here.
People actually define Hex bigger than OneCoin, bigger than Karat bars, and maybe even bigger than BitConnect. Now, I am going to ask Richard some questions today, and I'll allow him to explain a few things, and then I will comment on whatever Richard is going to tell us. So, just to start off, Richard, please introduce yourself, and please keep it under 30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Richard.
As you watch this, note the extreme regulations that this gentleman, the interviewer, places upon. Like, if you're going to interview someone, you do need to let them speak, right? You need to let them free speak. But this guy's got such stringent rules about what Richard can answer with. It's not just one person, and they'll talk about the origin address, and at that point, I'll address that as well, because I've got some concerns about the origin address.
Hart, retired serial entrepreneur.
Sorry, I blurted over him.
Just to start off, Richard, please introduce yourself, and please keep it under.
Hi, I'm Richard Hart, retired serial entrepreneur. I retired in the year 2003, had about 150 employees in the internet marketing company. Started traveling the world, lived in a hotel for 5 years, went everywhere. Discovered Bitcoin because I was reading Reddit all the time, and it was on the front page every once in a while. I thought, oh, this is a dumb idea. And then I read the Wired News article and bought when everyone else bought and helped make the $30 top. And then went down to a penny on Mt. Gox, but the trades got rolled back and it went down to $2 with trades that didn't go back. Then it's not a question of how early you got in. It's a question of how long you held. So I was also able to build a little miniature mining farm and mine full blocks on my own. And I've mined full blocks with my own personal computer with no pool, where you got 50 BTC block reward, which is pretty neat.
So he made his money on Bitcoin, essentially. He got in early with Bitcoin.
What else? Wrote a couple self-help books you can download for free at t.me/SciVive. Got about 60,000 followers on Twitter, Richard Hart Win, and about 50K on YouTube.
Carrot bars is my favorite scam. I'm not sure what a carrot bar is. By the way, I should also address this, that this is new to me, right? As of 5 weeks ago, I didn't even know what Hex was. So this is completely new to me.
Richard Hart. And I founded Hex, which is the world's first blockchain CD that you can get for free if you were a Bitcoin holder on December 1st, 2019. And I think that's it.
So I don't really understand that connection. I don't understand why, if you're a Bitcoin holder, you got free Hex. I genuinely do not understand how that works together. If you owned Bitcoin, you received free Hex. I don't get that. I don't pretend to understand it. I just don't get it.
Free books, free videos, free tokens.
Good. Thank you for that. Let me just define a few rules before we begin. So please don't discuss other coins. I'm not interested to hear anything you have to say about other projects, other different types of coins or tokens or anything beside Hex specifically. Please
sure, you realize
watch your
that breaks
language.
the concept of logical analogy, right? So we're crippling the conversation.
Please,
but go ahead.
I didn't finish the rules. Please.
You see this? It's already an attack right here. This interview technique, he's already attacking before he's heard anything really of substance that Richard's been able to explain.
Please watch your language. This is a respectable event. The reason that I'm mentioning it, because I've watched a couple of videos that you were interviewed and you have a habit of using bad language. Not
Okay.
Well, it's got to be a scam then if he uses a little bit of bad language. Shit.
accepted today, please. Don't waste the time for nothing. Please answer the questions and stay on point with regards to the questions and your answers. And I might ask you a question more than once, and I do have a reason for that. So these are the rules. And I'll start with the first question. Please describe Hex.
He knew this before going in, Perd Beer. Who knew? Richard? Richard knew these concepts. All I'm saying is, and when I've been interviewed, and when I've interviewed, you don't do what he's doing here. You don't. I mean, you can lay out a ground rule and say, "Oh man, we got half an hour to do this, so try to keep on point and try to be a snappy answer because I got a bunch of questions here." But telling him to watch his language and all these other sort of make sure you don't talk about other Bitcoin and this and that, dude, you got to let him answer. It's his interview. Like, you're going to find out about him through his answers, not how you structure his answers. Are you going to let him speak, or are you going to only let him speak the way you want to hear him speak? It's weird. It's a weird strategy. Look at that bad pause on Richard. That was an unfortunate pause.
And I'll start with the first question. Please describe Hex shortly, not more than 1 minute.
Hex is the world's first blockchain CD. In the real world, people care about time. So if you go to the bank, the second most popular product there is the time deposit. You lock up your funds. The longer you lock them, the more interest you get paid. For some reason, people in the blockchain space just never built out the second most popular product at the bank, which protects $7.2 trillion of value in the United States and China alone, more globally. So we just copied what works at the bank, where you lock your funds up and you get interest.
That right there should explain it enough, right? The bank has the same concept. You lock your funds up for a certain amount of time and you get interest. This is the exact same concept. It's worked for an infinite amount of time at the banks. He just said it's their second biggest product aside from home loans, right? So why would this not work in the crypto space? Mindy, I agree. This guy has all the rules. Yeah, right. He's not a normal journalist. His focus is on debunking all the bullshit that goes on in crypto. He has a lot of respect. I've never seen on Yavin before. At this interview, I think I think this is a terrible interview from him, and I wouldn't want to watch him interview anybody else after seeing the way he's handled this.
But since there's not any real loans, we just pay them inflation, just the same way that Bitcoin pays inflation. So instead of in Bitcoin, the block rewards go to the miners, and in Hex, the block rewards or inflation go to the stakers. And then you have to onboard new users and distribute the currency. So we give it for free to Bitcoin holders by the size of their stack, unless you're a whale, and then you get penalized up to 75%. And then you can also transform Ethereum directly into Hex.
That's what I've done.
Where you mint your own coins. But the network rule, the consensus rule, is that you had to have sent Ethereum to an address. What else?
And you
really,
MetaMask
using a join lobby function, XF join lobby.
So again, I'm just going to stop this at crucial points. There's nothing weird about that, right? That's exactly, and I speak like I'm some kind of authority, but that's exactly how I understand crypto to work. So there's nothing weird going on at this point at all. The only weird element, and I still don't get it, he tried to explain it there, I still don't get it. I don't get the connection to Bitcoin. I don't understand if you own Bitcoin, you get free Hex. I just don't get that. But there must be a financial connection between Bitcoin and Hex at that juncture.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. We're doing good. Every metric that can be hit is, so it's gone up in price 116-fold in 128 days, which isn't too bad.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the next question. You mentioned that you founded Hex, and I'm not asking who founded it. Obviously, it's you. I'm just asking who planned Hex before it was created, and
Me.
who are the main people behind Hex beside you?
There isn't any. It's done. It's a complete contract. It's similar. It's like
No, Richard, I know where you're going. I listened to this answer of yours. Please answer, who did you communicate before you founded Hex, while you were planning Hex, and who helped you to create Hex? And don't tell me that you didn't create Hex and it was created by itself and so on.
We had a developer that's public named Kieran Mosquita who's done interviews. He doesn't like the project, but, you know, I don't know why he worked on it if he didn't like it. We used to have a bunch of people on the homepage, like Kyle Barr, who wrote the Layman's Guide, which we use as a white paper.
Tim says his interview style may be based upon his country of origin and how their society normally communicate with each other, or how they suspiciously treat people of other nationalities. I mean, would you be at that point critiquing him on his race at that point, Tim? Whoa, shit, you're on your own there, buddy. I thought we're all one world race, dude. You telling me that certain races suspiciously treat people of other races? Shit, Tim. And I'm the one drinking the Jack, and you're coming out with statements like that? Look at that, folks. Tim in the chit chat. He's coming out with all the big, bold statements.
We've had there's a lot of people that have committed their time to improve the project, and they're all very public. You can watch them every day. They're on YouTube. There's a YouTube meeting of them called Discord Syndicate, where you can see hexologists and there's tons of people.
Discord Syndicate, run by RG3 or R3G, and Discord and hexologists. They've all been in my chats on DLive. So these people are genuinely interested in this product. Genuinely interested. Turn the X tag on. But what nationality would Onyavan? Looks kind of Croatian to me, possibly Croatian or Serbian.
They're all there. Like I don't understand. I don't get what your question is about. You have code. You can read the code. It's fully audited 3 times, once for economics, twice for security. And you can go on etherscan.io, search for Hex, click the contract, click the code, and you can read it. It's there. You can compile it yourself and verify that the bytecode matches what's on the blockchain. I don't know why you're so concerned with who wrote it.
Tim, no, not race, just the way various races communicate. Shit, contradiction. I'm just saying, dude. I'm not saying I agree nor disagree, but I'm just saying you're on your own with that, dude. Can't be putting race out there as a determining factor on how people differ. Well, shit, it's 2020, man.
It's weird.
I'll explain to you later why I'm concerned with it. I'm actually very concerned with it. But let's move on to the next question.
Just so you know, you will lose this argument. I've had all of these discussions a million times, but
see, that's a bad tact from Richard, because this interview is interesting because it's basically been one person sort of like projecting over the other, and at this point Richard is defending himself, but he's only 8 minutes in and he's got the shits with it, right? And he's like, dude, I'm just going to let you know you're not going to win this argument because I've been down this road before. I wouldn't have done that if I was him. I would have let this Onyavan continue and then just slam him at the end and say, dude, I just explained everything. Unless you've got any other pertinent questions, can we wrap this up? Because he's at one, and it happens again and again. I think it happens 3 times in this interview, but he's just stooped to Onyavan's level. And I wouldn't have done that, but that's just me. Minty, if I was being interviewed like that, I'd tell him to shove it. So you would do what he's just done, basically. That's essentially what he's done. So let's just hear him say it.
Explain to you later why I'm concerned with it. I'm actually very concerned with it. But let's move on to the next question.
Just so you know, you will lose this argument. I've had all of these discussions a million times, but I can see.
Thank you very much for the warning. Thank you. Can you explain what kind of utility Hex has?
Sure, tons of utility, endless.
Please.
1, it's more resistant to inflation bugs, which are the most critical bugs that blockchains face.
No, Richard, let me explain maybe the question again. What kind of utility does it have? Not what kind of outcome it has.
It is more secure than Bitcoin because it is more modular. So
I don't care about Bitcoin. For this fireside chat, as much as I'm a Bitcoin...
So you don't consider security utility?
I am asking you, what can you do with Hex?
Can I just stop there? Because this was I'm going to jump out of that just briefly, but that was a critical moment for me when 5 weeks ago, when the Hex community came into my crypto stream on DLive talking about Hex, I literally said, what is Hex being used for? So when we learned about blockchain and crypto and the blockchain technology, if I understood correctly, and I think I did, every crypto coin, every token has a use case. Now, if I can relate that back to DLive, within the platform DLive, because it's based on the blockchain, the Tron blockchain, you've got the BitTorrent token, which is used as a transactional token to build the blockchain based on DLive. So that's the utility that I guess Onyavan is trying to ask. What is Hex? What is the utility Hex provides? So to break it down even further, you could have, and this is how it was explained to me way back before Justin Sun bought DLive. We were trying to get our own blockchain, the Lino, right? We were trying to build the blockchain Lino, and then we would have the Lino token, which would service that blockchain, and that's how the platform would generate an income based upon this in-app currency Lino. Now, we all know that failed, right? It didn't get past testnet. It didn't go to mainnet. It failed. So we were talking about the idea that not only would you have Lino being traded amongst DLive, but you could also have other apps, potentially like Glassware distributing using the Lino blockchain to fund that whole process, and that's the utility that Lino would service. Now the difference here, and this is what the Hex community explained to me when they came into my stream. They said, well, think about this, dude. There is no utility in that regard because it's a time deposit. So the utility is time. The reward is how long you want to put your currency into the deposit for, and that's the reward. So there is no great technology that this is working on. There's no pizza delivery or booze bud or anything that's using it because it doesn't need it. It's a term deposit, no different to doing it at the bank. And I see that question comes up a lot because people get apprehensive. They're like, well, why are we supporting a blockchain technology that's not being used in anything? Well, the reason you'd support Hex is because it's a term deposit. No one's done a term deposit like this before in crypto. I think that's unique, right? You got term deposits everywhere. Every major bank will offer you a time deposit. No one's doing it with crypto, so why would this not exist? Why would it not work?
Well, it's the most liquid on-chain exchange coin in the world.
Yeah, that's not utility. What can you do with it?
Transmitting value and transmitting it securely isn't utility to you. And monetizing time isn't utility.
It is utility, but you can probably say it about any project out there, or almost any project out there. So that's not a utility in my book.
Yeah, you're dumb then, okay? Cryptocurrencies are designed to act as currencies.
Richard, you remember what I said as rules?
See, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have called him dumb. However, he is just playing into, he's been given this set of rules. He obviously feels defensive. I don't know. Yeah, this is schoolyard tactics from both parties here.
Be respectable.
Yes, and not using this
because
language is fine.
This just makes you look very bad when you behave like this. So please keep it respectable.
I'm not wearing sunglasses indoors. I look pretty okay. Listen, security matters.
That's a strange point to hit. He's having a crack at him for wearing sunnies inside. They could be prescription glasses that he hasn't got aside from those ones. I don't know, but yeah, I find this part of the interview a little childish.
If you don't have security, you have nothing. Everything can go to zero. Okay, this is experimental software. Blockchains can and will go to zero if they are not secure. Okay, Aurora coin that was airdropped to people in Iceland went to zero because it wasn't secure. Okay, so security matters and it is useful and it's progress. And if you build something that's more secure, you should be able to brag about it and be happy about it without being derided by people wearing whatever you're wearing. 2, transmitting value is what cryptocurrencies were designed for. Hex does it faster than Bitcoin with 13-second blocks because it's an ERC20. It does it more securely than Bitcoin because it has modular software. The consensus code is locked in an uneditable, immutable smart contract. Whereas in Bitcoin, every time you upgrade your nodes to upgrade the network, you accidentally screw up consensus and introduce inflation bugs. One which was executed and minted 6 billion extra free Bitcoin where they had to roll back the chain in 2010. And one was recently found by a Bitcoin Cash developer about a year and a half ago. That's the most critical vulnerabilities that you can have in a blockchain. And mining doesn't solve those things. Having higher hash rate and having a more diverse ecosystem of miners does nothing to address code vulnerabilities, which are the majority of vulnerabilities a blockchain has, that Hex addresses. Hex also has less negative externalities as more
Richard,
energy
thank
efficient.
you for that. We just don't have enough time, and I need to move to the next question.
You see how frustrating that would be? He's literally explaining everything about Hex and how it's different, how it's unique, how it's secure, and he cuts him off. Like, look at that's an unfortunate pause on Richard, but look at how frustrated he is. Dude, I was just telling you everything you need and you cut me off. That's a ush on Yavin's head at that point. Listen to the cutoff.
Blockchain has that Hex addresses. Hex also has less negative externalities as more
Richard,
energy
thank
efficient.
you for that. We just don't have enough time, and I need to move to the next question. So can you confirm that Hex website is announcing on the top of the homepage, Hex is designed to increase in value faster than anything else in history?
I'm not sure I'd consider an investment in Hex. He looks squirrely to me. Squirrely? Fair enough. This is an interesting video. There's so much going on in this video. Like, and look, let me be super clear. I didn't know a thing about Hex 5 weeks ago, and now I've got four stakes. So I'm interested in this. I'm very interested in this. I'm financially interested in this. Again, not from my pocket, but from the rewards that I earn from streaming on DLive.
Yep.
And from generous donations.
That is what it says. Yes.
Thank you for that. And let me understand something. One of the claims that I've seen in a few places online is that Hex doesn't have actual value because the price is derived from a classic Ponzi scheme mechanism and does not reflect actual value or use of the token. What do you have to say about that?
People don't understand the difference between a speculative
No,
bubble,
don't explain to me what people don't understand. Answer the question. The claim is that it doesn't have any value. Please explain why it has value.
I'm answering your question. A Ponzi scheme fails because it can't meet the promises that it makes. They lie about what businesses they perform. They lie about doing arbitrage. They lie about things. And then they have bills they have to pay, but they can't pay them because they don't have profit. So they steal from new people's money to pay the old guys that they owe, and then they collapse. Hex has none of that. It doesn't owe you anything. You run the code. If you lock up your coins, you mint yourself more Hex at the end. It doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't pretend to have some business purpose. It doesn't have a multi-level program. There's no referring other people that refer other people. You're saying a lot of things that just have no basis in reality. Hex is a single tier referral program, like Tesla, like Amazon, like every successful retailer out there on the internet. It does not have a multi-level marketing program. Hex does not promise you returns. It does not know what you will receive. It doesn't know what the value of the token will be. If you get 12% interest per year, but the token goes down 20 or 30%, you lost money. Hex doesn't know what the value of its token is outside of itself. It doesn't use some trusted oracle that can disappear and fail. It's truly decentralized. So you earn new tokens the same way Bitcoin miners earn new tokens. Bitcoin miners spend money on electricity and generate new Bitcoin. Hex stakers lock up their coins and generate new inflation. It's the exact same thing, but we're not polluting the environment.
Okay,
his definition of Ponzi is flawed. I mean, at that point, I'm not sure exactly what a Ponzi legitimate definition is, but at that point, he just explained it pretty clearly, right? There's no promise to what you will earn. There's no guarantee of a positive result. It is you, as he said, you run the code by staking in your Hex. You trigger the code. You trigger the value to potentially change in your favor or against you. I mean, again, coming from someone who knew nothing about this, I'm more intrigued about this than ever, seeing the way he explains it. Why would this be? Why? I mean, you can be skeptical, sure, but comparing this and relating it back to a Ponzi scheme, this hasn't been done before. This concept. So all the naysaying and all the hating is naysaying against something that hasn't actually existed before. I get that. You're going to be a little apprehensive, something you don't know. I get that.
Nothing that you're saying is accurate. There's no MLM. There's no promise of returns.
Yes. Thank you for, okay, Richard, thank you for not answering the question. Let's go back to you. Wow. And I just want to confirm one thing that I
answered your question very well. Wonderfully well.
Let me ask you a question about you that you didn't mention to us before when you introduced yourself. I'd like to ask you if this is correct. Were you actually sued by the peacefire.org in 2002 for violating Washington State's anti-spam laws?
Yes, I was. Correct.
Understood.
One of the first people in the world to be sued for spam. And my real name's Richard Schuler, if you want to Google it. Schueler.
German.
Google me. I like me.
Understood. Now let's...
So hang on a second. Did you just see what happened then? That information is nothing to do with Hex. So you've got an interviewer who's told the interviewee that you can't answer a question if you're going to talk about another coin. So at the beginning of the interview, Onyavan said, do not talk about other blockchain tokens. Just keep it specific to Hex. Now, what did he just do? He brought up something from Richard's past, which is common knowledge. Richard answered, yes, you're correct. I did get sued from the state for spam. The first person to ever be sued for anti-spam law. For sure, that happened. Why would Onyavan do that? You know why he's done it? To present a narrative of Richard Hart that looks negative, right? If you wanted to interview me and said you brought up some negatives about my life, you would then paint me in the negative, right? But let's just say you chose to go the other way and paint the positive. So what I'm saying is that the direction of this interview is already slanted against Richard Hart and therefore against Hex. I'm just saying it, saying it like I said. And unfortunately, you saw Richard Hart say fuck you to him. He's being attacked. He's not being interviewed. He's being attacked. That's the way I see this. This is an attack, not an interview. He is the face of Hex. It's relevant. How is his past, nothing to do with Hex, relevant to today? So basically, Perd, you're saying if you've done anything negative in the past, you can't do anything positive in the future? That's bullshit, dude. That's complete bullshit. We've all done dubious shit in our past. That shouldn't affect what you do in the future. If you've paid the price for whatever that is, I don't know what maybe he spent some time in jail. Maybe he paid his community service. Maybe he paid a hefty fine. That's the point of being sued. You get it done. You rectify your ways. I mean, fuck, dude. If you're gonna judge everybody on their past, then no one will be able to do anything ever in the future. That's a crock of shit. Sorry, Perdby.
Let's move on to some more important questions. Please explain to people who never heard about Hex before, what does origin address stand for? What is its purpose? And what it is being used for?
Well, the origin address is, it receives half of the bonuses. So during the launch phase, which is 353 days, you have a speed bonus. If you get in earlier, you get more. If you get in later, you get less. It gets a copy of that. If you are referred or you refer somebody, those people get bonuses that total about 32%. Origin gets a copy of that. It gets half of the late and early end stake penalties, which the staker class gets the other half. So right now, if you look at the distribution, it looks like the origin address is getting about 49 or 50% of the supply, because not that many people are free claiming.
I still don't really understand this. Okay, he's going to talk about this origin address in detail. And then Onyavan is going to claim that the origin address is actually owned by Richard Hart. Now, at that point, I would probably be siding with Onyavan. However, does it make any difference who the origin address actually is? I don't think it does ultimately. But why there'd be secrecy here, I don't know. This bit's got me confused, and no one really seems to be able to answer it. Wasn't Ponzi a character who wore a vinyl jacket and rode a moped in a failed spin-off sitcom called Crappy Days, Timsky? Hey, sit on it. When you launch a financial institution, there is a higher benchmark. Interesting, maybe. I'm not saying that. Okay. Well, that's kind of what it sounded like. He needs to be investigated for his spam fraud, which he's already paid the price for. Okay. Tim's laughing. Benon, were you pressured to invest in Hex? Not really. So when the hexagons came across to DLive, to my DLive channel, so let me just let me just back up slightly here and tell the story. Here comes the music Tim loves. So DLive began a program called Crypto Superstar, and the idea was that it's like a level you can aspire to achieve on DLive. Now, I'm all about achieving levels, right? I'm all about climbing the ladder of whatever the progression. It's a way for me to, it's a metric to gauge my progression as a live streamer, whatever the level is. And in this case, there was one Crypto Superstar. Now that came out the moment that Justin Sun bought DLive and made everything basically BitTorrent, BTT related. So I was like, well, how can we, and I asked the audience, we sat on it for about 3 weeks. I asked everybody, should we start doing one crypto-based stream a week just to be able to achieve this Crypto Superstar level? Because you need to be streaming in the crypto category at that point. I usually stream in IRL or chatting. So my audience said, sure, man, it'd be a great way to learn about crypto. If you're so unskilled, which I am, wouldn't it be rad if we could all learn about crypto together? I was like, yeah, totally. Let's all learn crypto together. Let's go in. Okay, starting next week, we're going to start a crypto stream every Wednesday. And that first crypto stream, the hexagons came in, said, dude, do you know about Hex? I'm like, no, I don't know. What is it? We're talking about BTT and blockchain and how Justin Sun now owns DLive. What's this Hex stuff? So we looked into it. We literally looked into it on the stream. And as far as being pressured, nobody pressured me. However, the option was presented to me, and I discussed it with my audience and said, how would you guys feel if instead of me staking in my BTT into DLive and earning the reward that I'm already earning, so I said I will forego some of my, because I earn a weekly reward in terms of BitTorrent, in terms of BTT, BitTorrent token, I earn a reward for streaming. That comes back into my wallet, and then I stake that back onto DLive because I believe in the platform. I said, what about this, folks? What if I take a section of that stake and don't stake it into BTT, but instead, as an experiment so that we can all learn, I invest into Hex? And the audience was like, yeah, that sounds cool, man. That sounds like a cool plan. It's not coming out of my pocket. It's not like I've gone to the bank and got a loan. I'm just taking a portion of what I would normally put onto DLive and putting it into Hex so that we can all learn about the progress. Now, it was at that point that a bunch of hexagons were like, dude, that sounds rad. What's your MetaMask wallet address? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, every crypto needs to be stored in a wallet. So my BTT gets stored in a TronLink wallet. Now, that's the one that DLive interacts with seamlessly. Hex gets stored in the MetaMask wallet. These are Chrome extensions. This is the MetaMask wallet is where you store your Hex, and then the Hex website interacts with that wallet seamlessly. So I said, well, let's put some of that BTT into Hex, into the MetaMask wallet. So we set up a MetaMask wallet, did all that on the stream. We took some of the Hex, we converted it to, like I said, we had to go from BTT to US dollars, from US dollars to Ethereum, from Ethereum to Hex. Now that's just a little, it's like changing currencies, right? You got to go through an exchange, blah, 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 blah. But we all learned how to do it. I didn't know anything about that before this. And now I've done it 4 times. I get confused with buying and selling, who's buying and who's selling, but I could probably go in and transact on the Poloniex exchange. I could probably go and transact BTT into US dollars into Ethereum, Ethereum into Hex, and then stake it without any support. But 4 weeks ago, hell no. So Charles Wayne endorses it. I've not heard Charles Wayne talk about Hex. That's a good question. I don't know what he thinks of it. I've not heard him say anything. I guess he doesn't need to say anything, but yeah. So as far as pressuring me, no pressure. As far as educating, absolutely. We've all been learning as we go along. And as far as support, the hexagons, the Hex community, they have financially dumped a lot of Hex on me, like a lot. So that's my situation. We're doing this as a progress, as a learning experience. And if it pays off massively, like everybody's saying, like astronomical, I'll take you all on a round trip to Mars or to the moon. Whatever Elon's doing at that point, we'll all go on Gives a Minute.
If more Bitcoin corners holders would free claim, the origin address would get less. But because they're not free claiming that much, it's amplifying the bonuses, which causes the origin to get about half. Which, by the way, XLM had 80% of foundation, XRP had 60%, 50% isn't actually that interesting. Particularly if you do Gini coefficient analysis of other coins, which you don't want to hear about for some reason.
So basically, everyone that is using Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever you decided that will be the process,
fantastic. I'll go.
About 45% of it goes to this origin address, correct?
Well, this has nothing to do with Ethereum. This is just the hex. So the origin address has about 50% of the hex.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're using Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you're using, whatever you need to do to operate in order to get hex, whatever you're using to get your hex,
a different address gets that stuff.
Understood.
No, a different address gets that. So there's the flush address that gets the Ethereum, and then there's an origin address that gets hex, and they're different.
Understood. Now, who is behind this origin address, and who can enjoy all the funds that are sent to the origin address?
Nobody knows. It's not public.
Nobody knows.
Just like you don't know who Satoshi is. No.
I see. So you're saying that you don't know either.
I'm saying that you don't know, and I'd be happy if you never knew, because I don't want you to expect anything
I am
from it.
asking you a specific question. You are the founder of X. Do you know who can enjoy the funds being sent to the origin address? Please answer yes or no.
I'm dodging your question.
It's a simple answer. Answer yes or no.
Dodge. You don't get the game. The game is if you expect profits from giving your money to a central party, then you might have a security.
You do not want to answer
I'm not
that
interested
question.
In being a security dealer.
You're not interested in answering this question, and you will not disclose to the audience who is behind the origin address.
No.
Now, moving on to the next question.
See, that is definitely a check mark against Richard Hart at that point. I don't know why that's important, but if the origin address receives a certain percentage of all the transacting, do we need to know who owns the origin address? I guess in a way it would give you some peace of mind if you knew, but ultimately does it change anything if you find out that Mr. Blank owns it, or Mrs. Blank, or Mr. Richard Hart? More than likely it's him, right? More like using intelligence, you would assume he created it, he has the origin address, or it's a trust account under his name with a certain number of financial beneficiaries, right? I mean, let's just assume that's the case. How does that change the process? Not a bit. Not even slightly. Is the Hex guy sitting on a throne? He's in a chair. He's got a funky laptop. He's got a funky keyboard that it looks like a homemade, almost looks like a guitar pedal he's got sitting there on a board. I see Bitcoin has a price rise recently. It did? Okay. Interesting.
I listened to one of the interviews, and you confirmed that you paid a developer to develop the smart contract that is being used by Hex, including transferring the funds to the origin address. Can you please confirm that again?
That doesn't make any sense. The origin
address. So you didn't pay a developer to develop a smart contract?
Of course he did.
Yeah, I did that. Yes.
Oh, so this smart contract gets to decide to send the funds to the origin address?
Yes.
Listen, you don't know who Satoshi is, but I bet you like Bitcoin.
I told you I don't want to talk about Bitcoin.
The code is what matters.
I don't want to talk about Satoshi.
You need to stop looking at other people's
Richard
wallets.
Hart and Hex.
You need to stop counting other people's money.
I'm asking you the question again. Did you pay a developer to develop the smart contract that is sending the address?
Yes.
That's not how that works. There is no secret functions. They're only publicly callable. You can cause the contract to send money to the origin address.
Is there any smart contract being used by Hex that you didn't pay for?
You're the worst interviewer I've ever had. I've had some bad ones.
Can you confirm that any smart contract used by Hex was paid by you?
How many times do you want me to say yes?
Any smart contract.
I said yes 3 times. Here's fourth. Yes. That's the fourth yes. You're welcome. You should try listening. You could have stopped at the second yes.
Moving on to the next question. Why?
He did answer that pretty clearly at the beginning. Perd says he's under legal advice to not talk about it as it would open him up as a US national in breach of security laws. And you think that makes it very, very dodgy? Why? Okay. Why would it be dodgy as an investor? Why would there be dodge there? Let's just say Richard Hart owns the origin address. Why would that make the system dodgy? I don't get that. I don't get how that changes the concept. I don't get how that changes the value. I don't get how that changes the interest. I don't get how that changes anything. You seem to think it's dodgy. I'm not sure how that plays out.
Why don't you explain about the origin address on your homepage, on Hex's website homepage, or the FAQ? And believe me, I tried to search for at least half an hour. But you didn't click the
disclaimer, right?
Sorry?
The disclaimer at the bottom of every page, you didn't click.
No, I couldn't find it.
You wouldn't click the disclaimer, right?
Sorry?
On the bottom of every page. On the bottom of every page, there's a disclaimer that you should read because there's important information in it.
Don't you think that such an important thing should be on the homepage? You included so much data and information on your homepage. Don't you think that was important to include?
No, I don't.
It's only a matter of time until he is forced to answer those questions under subpoena. He's operating as a securities dealer without a license, but that's the thing that he's made clear. There's no promise of a return here. So he's not acting as a dealer at all. The smart contract is. This is what I'm understanding. Both as a newbie to crypto, I'm understanding this from afar. Right? I'm looking at it from a distance. If he's under subpoena, if that happens, there has to be some instance of wrongdoing, some foul play, which there hasn't been.
Here's why. Okay, I've been to Bitcoin's home.
I'm not impressed with either, says Mindy. Fair enough.
Of the ownership
I told you I don't want to talk about Bitcoin. I don't want to talk about Bitcoin.
And I've been to the Ethereum homepage, and they don't talk about the distribution of coins. But you are not Satoshi,
and we don't want to talk about Bitcoin. We are talking about Hex.
Right. So the industry standard is that you don't particularly talk about the distribution of ownership of coins because it's pseudo-anonymous. You don't really know if 1,000 addresses is really one guy anyway. So in general, no cryptocurrency has a Gini coefficient distribution mentioned anywhere on its site, anywhere, let alone in the disclaimer as Hex does. Like what you're saying is made up bullshit. Like what you're saying is fantasy land. Like the things you're talking about, they're not on any cryptocurrency website anywhere. Furthermore, if you go to any company's website, nowhere on there is a list of the shareholders. That's not where people put those things. If you want to learn those things, you can go to the 20 websites that Hex has, which shows you every single thing publicly. This guy bought here. This guy sold here. He staked for this long. Here's when his stakes are expiring.
Richard,
here's who was referred. It's all public as shit.
Moving on to the next question. We don't have much time. We have about 8 minutes left.
Podby, that's your opinion. The Securities Commission and State Department might take a different view. Why would you invest with no guarantee or legitimacy? Very confusing. I guess that's another point for sure, Mindy. Why would you invest with no guarantee? As far as I understand, you can investigate and you can read the source code and work out whether you're going to theoretically earn an income or lose an income. Now, again, I don't pretend to know exactly how this works, but if I understand slightly correctly, it's based on stakers and unstakers. So if you stake, let's say you have 1 billion Hex and you stake it for a year, then you're going to earn a hell of a lot of interest on top of that. But if you unstake before that year is out, then that earned interest or that potentially earned interest goes back to those who remain staked. So you've got this concept of a big return. And you've got this concept of, well, I'm gonna stake in 1 billion and I'm gonna unstake it to earn a small return, but get in quick and then pump the price up and then jump out. I kind of understand sort of loosely how that works. You have the chance of getting a quick and epic return only if you invest a hell of a lot, and those are the whales, right? But they get penalized for staking and then unstaking. And the penalty goes to the long-term stakers. So this is a long game. And I'm not suggesting I know exactly how it works, but I mean, I could show you my returns already. I've already earned about $70 on top of my investment in the last 3 weeks. So the profit is based on everyone else investing. Yes, exactly, Mindy. The profit you earn is based on everybody investing and those uninvesting. So it's basically working off huge investments, pulling the pin, if I understand correctly.
Let me ask you the next question. Before I ask the question, I will explain the following. I've consulted with 7 different lawyers specializing in regulation and legal for blockchain and cryptocurrency. I'm also a certified lawyer myself. And the next question is, how come you do not define HEX as a security? Please explain us.
Here we go, Perd, to answer your question. How come HEX is not defined as a security? The profit is based on speculation, therefore Ponzi. Not at all, dude. Not at all. So nothing is bought or sold. Well, the shares, so HEX is a share. So the buying and selling of the share generates the income. That's the transaction, Mindy. The buying and selling and the locking in generates the income.
First of all, every country has their own laws. I will explain to you the United States laws. In the United States, the most dominant deciding factor as to whether you have a security or not is, are you giving money to a common pool with the expectation of profit solely, very heavy word there, from the work of others. In HEX, no one can mint your HEX for you but you. You generate your own private key using your own labor. You mine your own Ethereum block or pay someone else to do it for you. You're doing all of the computation. You're minting all of your own rewards. When you stake your coins, you're burning your own coins. When you mint your rewards, you're minting your own rewards. No one performs any essential managerial or entrepreneurial effort for those things to occur. If I died and hex.win went down and go.hex.win went down, there's 3 or 4 or 5 different websites that you can easily use
shares that represents money,
whatsoever, to mint your own coins, claim your own coins, do your own rewards. It's totally decentralized. It is most similar to the way the Bitcoin network functions, where people mint their own coins out of thin air. When you're a Bitcoin miner, are you buying your coins from anyone when you run your node and it gives you coins as a reward? No, you're creating them out of thin air. HEX operates the exact same way. They don't exist. They can't be given to you. No one can hand them to you. You invent them yourself. So because they're doing all of the work and it's a truly decentralized network with no central point of failure, it's not a security. It's that simple.
Did that explain it to you, Perd? I mean, it kind of explained it to me. What makes him so vulnerable is he is a US national. I mean, that just, I guess he just nailed it.
And on top of that, that would be enough to make it not a security, but I overdo it. I never talk about price. I never talk about guarantees. I tell you, most cryptocurrencies drop 85 to 95%, almost all of them. And then the ones that don't, the stable coins, they have tail risk where they can just go to zero instantly. So you're in a highly volatile market with something that can go to zero. I'm the only person popularizing that idea. And I don't even want you to know anything about origin address or who or any of those things.
It's just spin.
Then you might have expectations, and I don't want you to have any expectations. I don't want you to have expectations of profit from the work of others. So I go above and beyond the call of duty to do everything legally and right, in addition to having an opinion letter or 2 that states this isn't a security. And then I hear things that are the opposite from guys like you that don't do your research about MLM. There's no MLM. I hear about, who wrote the code. The code's open and verifiable. Doesn't matter who wrote it. Maybe you wrote it. We do everything right, truly decentralized.
Maybe so you're saying maybe I am behind HEX.
Yeah, maybe you are. Where's the ETH going, bro? Where's the ETH going, bro? Where are you putting it?
It's just spin. It sounds like jumbled filler words that mean nothing. I mean, a lot of this stuff is sort of tech heavy. No denying that. I mean, if I could speak freely, and I'm new to it. I'm seeing the return already. Like, I've already earned interest on this. I could pull out now and I've earned about $70 interest on top of my investment. So the thing works. We've got physical proof of that in me, and it's a little confusing, for sure. It's a little confusing. No one's done it before. It's new. You might go back in history and say, why would I give the bank $5,000 for a year so they can play with it and then give me a return on it? Really? I'm going to give the bank that money?
But you see,
Okay.
that's the funny thing is,
moving on to the next
to
the next question I have for you. No, Richard, thank you. Yes, we all understand now. Yes, I'm behind Hex. That's a great debating point. Now let me ask you this question. If you were behind Hex, it
wouldn't be doing so well.
Let me ask you this question. Can you find me one lawyer in the world by a respectable law firm, okay? Let's say with at least a minimum of 50 employees, just to make sure
is that how you count the quality?
No, it's not how I define it, but I just don't want you to find some anonymous lawyer that will agree to do the following. Are you capable of getting one legal opinion that says that you're not a security?
Yes, I already have two.
The vulnerability is his personality, his nationality, and whatever is hidden. Then on top of this, you have the market forces. The bank invested the money for you. And that's a good point, Mindy. The bank invested the money in what? In selling the money on. So the bank earns the interest by using your money to sell. Now, they could lose your money at that point as well. So here we're talking about not one person doing that selling. We're talking about everybody else that invests taking your investment and you earn off their investment. I mean, all I can say is it's working, and I'm only like 5 weeks in, and it's working. And we will have to gauge this as it goes further and further and further. Let me just say, the same situation, 100%, the exact same situation was here when Bitcoin began. Now, if you had have bought into Bitcoin when it began, well, you don't need to know what happened there, do you? But let's just say we'd all be on an island, not just an island that we owned. So I'm just saying, this looks strange and new and different for sure. So the hell did Bitcoin back when it was launched. And we all had the chance to get in on that. None of us did, though.
Okay, so I would like, I'm very happy to review it. And also get connected to the lawyers.
You're not going to get to review it because you're nobody. You have no utility.
Oh, so you're not willing to disclose the. Wait, Richard. Sorry, we don't have time. Richard, you're not willing to disclose.
He's not in the market though, and in companies that make things that people buy, the things part is that's the beauty of cryptocurrency, right? And in particular Hex, it's not based on anything. It is a term deposit. So the thing is a term deposit. That's where everybody seems to be struggling. The thing is the length of time that you're willing to lock your Hex for. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Bitcoin was another type of currency. Bitcoin and Hex are fundamentally different in that regard because Bitcoin was used for utility, which is what old mate On Yavin was trying to hit. The utility of this is it's a term deposit. No different to a bank.
To disclose this legal opinion with me?
The opinion letters are given to people who have utility. You do not have utility. So no, I'm not in the business of solving legal quandaries for you that you can go and resell for profit to other people.
Understood.
We've solved a lot of things, and we just close them to the people who have value, of which you do not.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. I would like to make sure that the SEC is investigating you.
Please.
Will you please disclose your full details so I will be able to provide them with your address so they can actually...
I'm not telling you my address.
Oh, so you don't want to disclose your address?
No.
Richard,
have you heard...
I am willing... No, listen to me very carefully now. Listen to me very carefully now, please. Since I allowed you to establish that you're not a mega scam, and obviously, after hearing your responses, it's obvious to me that it is a scam. I will even tell you the following. If you are happy to disclose your details, and I'm committing right now to donate $10,000 to a crypto startup, if you will actually disclose your details, so I will be able to make sure that the SEC investigates you. What do you say about that?
Very late. I think that the SEC is already very, very well aware that Hex exists.
Now you are talking on behalf of the SEC. Let us allow
I know
the
that
SEC to
many
investigate you.
reports have been filed
Let us
against that
allow the
used
SEC
it.
to investigate you, Mr. Richard Hart. What do you say about
You're
that?
not listening. I'm saying that they already have had at least 100 reports filed out by haters like you, because it gets front page on our cryptocurrency Reddit that they should file SEC
Richard,
reports.
I'm not
And
a
so people that
hater.
have
You need
never
to
used
understand
Hex
something.
have
I
filled
don't
out
have
every SEC
anything
report
to
there
do
is.
with Hex. I don't care about Hex. I only care about the victims that you are scamming.
Can you show me a victim, you retard?
And I
show me
will
one victim,
also, and
Name
I will
me
also,
one victim, please.
and I will also explain to you the following.
There aren't any.
Let me
There
explain
are
to you the
not any
conclusion.
victims. There aren't any. You're making shit up.
So this is an interesting tack that's going down here. He's it's a weird angle the interviewer's taken here. He wants the SEC to investigate, but he wants to pay to have the SEC to investigate. And then he says, I want to expose all the victims. And I'm just pointing this out. There haven't been any victims, as he said. There's only been wins at this point. No one has claimed a loss on Hex. The only thing we've seen is people coming out saying, dude, I've just paid off my student loan with Hex. So I don't know where, yeah. He clearly holds the identified assets. He's clear. I'd agree. I'd suggest Richard is the origin address. I'd suggest that, or a trust with his name as part of it, for sure. So by proxy, he controls the economy. No, that doesn't control anything. That earns a reward from what the investors do, for sure. So he owns the origin. Let's just say Richard is the origin address. So whenever there's a donation, whenever there's an unstake early, whenever there's a penalty for unstaking early, the origin address earns a reward from that. So at that point, even if it came out clear that he was the origin address, why should he not earn an income on his product? There's that to be said too. Why should he not be able to earn an interest? Why should he not be able to earn a reward on his product? It's like saying, well, Elon Musk invented the ability to fly commercially to the moon, yet he can't earn an investment on that. It's his product. That's how I'm seeing it. If he owns the origin address, he controls the economy. Not at all. Not at all. The origin address earns a reward for those that stake out early, a bigger reward, like we all do. We all earn a reward for those that stake in and stake out. This interviewer is frustrating. How long has this existed? This interview or Hex in total? Hex has been around now for about a year. This interview, I think, is pretty recent from memory.
Try and look cool.
This interview was from May this year. So a little while ago, May 25.
Let me explain my conclusion because we only have 2 minutes, okay? So my conclusion, after we researched, and obviously I allowed you to respond because I wanted to make sure that I'm not mistaken. This is the conclusion. Your scam model following. You are inflating the price by yourself. As you mentioned, there is actually no one behind Hex beside you. And since it's, let me finish. Since it's extremely easy for you to do it with an automated market maker through Uniswap, you actually get 45% of the income that comes from purchasing new Hex using Ethereum. So you can use it to purchase more Hex and drive up the price as much as you want. You also rely on other people to join and purchase Hex using Ethereum because they see that the price is going up and you are creating FOMO. And we already established that you are a professional marketeer or a professional spammer. So you actually know very well how to create FOMO. And this is what you have done.
Yeah.
And
so for a lawyer, you should probably do less of the defamation.
incentive of the pyramid aspect is where Hex is used to generate more income. So that's my final conclusion. I will
So an investor profited enough in less than a year to pay off loans. Exactly, Mindy. Exactly. This guy, what's his name? Balin. I can never remember his handle. This isn't the guy, but this is the way that this information came through. Go to any of the crypto Hex streams on DLive and ask about it. There's a student who invested in Hex a small amount, and within the next 4 months or 3 to 4 months, his accumulation of return was big enough to pay off his, I think it was like a $14,000 student loan, paid it off in one go from Hex in less than in less than 5 months. So there's evidence of this thing working, and that's why I'm doing this. I've invested in Hex, like I said, and I've already seen a return of about $70 in 5 weeks, and that's on a small investment too, right? Not much. A total of about, I guess I would have invested probably about $400 if you equated it all down from the value of Hex at the time, probably about $400, and I've earned $70 on top of that. I'm literally just saying, I've done it. It's working. We're in this for the long time. I've got a 15-year stake. When I turn 60, that one will come to fruition. You can't use individual anecdotes as proof of anything. Wow, Perd, you totally can, dude. I'm literally proof of it working. Like, what more? You want me to bring up my MetaMask wallet? You want me to show you the Hex stakes? What more do you need? I'm totally proof of it working.
Mention again, and I will remind the audience that I'm willing to donate $10,000 US if you will agree to provide your full details, including location.
Why don't you
so
get a
I will
court
be
to do
able
it?
to make sure that the SEC is investigating you.
No.
And obviously, if you're not
exodus
disclosing the
works.
details, you are admitting that you are a scammer. That's admission to me. Because I don't have any problem disclosing my full details and my...
And that guy's profit came solely from other investors putting money into Hex. That guy's profit came from other people staking Hex. So people stake Hex and then they remove the stake. And that's where the interest lies. That's where you earn profit from other people staking and unstaking. So people did that, and this guy's profit margin went up and he cashed out. And that's just one example. There's plenty of others. Nobody is saying that at this stage of the coin, people are making money. Nobody is saying. I mean, Perdbeer, I guess you haven't watched enough of the crypto. Go and watch Hexologist on DLive, and in the chat ask about the people that have cashed in off Hex so far. There's heaps of examples, dude. Heaps.
Do it.
Because you
Do
know
it.
why? Because
What's your
I
address?
am a legit person, and that's how legit
You just said you have no
people
problem
behave.
disclosing. Go. Do it. Disclose. What's your address?
Sorry?
What is your address, guy that is bragging about disclosing?
My address is 4 Mendes Way, SW15 5GA, London, UK. That's my full address.
You sound like a guy from the UK.
Do you also want
like
my ID number?
You sound like an Israeli to me.
So you can't cash out for 15 years. So I've got four. I think I got 4 stakes. I got 4 stakes. I've done 1 stake for 15 years. So that earns me way more interest. Obviously, the longer you stake, the more interest. So that one's an example. I've got a 5-year stake. I've got a 1-year stake, and I've got a 150-day stake. So the 150-day stake is an interesting one. We will see. That one was worth about $60. We will see in 150 days when that one matures. We'll do it on the DLive stream. We will unstake, or it'll unstake itself after 150 days, and we have the opportunity to take the money into US dollars and run, or we have the opportunity to restake the principal plus the interest I've earned in 150 days and add it to another stake. Sorry, I meant not making money. That's a long time to wait. Yeah, and that's the idea with staking. Like, you can choose how long you want to stake. So that's why as the example, and that's why we're doing it. That's exactly why we're doing this. This is to do this in public, to stake in public. We went and did the process of staking in public. We set up the MetaMask wallet in public. We converted BTT to US dollars to Ethereum in Poloniex. We transferred from Poloniex to the MetaMask wallet. We went to the hex.go site. We transferred the Hex into stake. We did it all open. Like, we literally did it so that everybody could see and follow along. So the idea is that we will watch and we will learn from it. The first one's 150 days. We've got about 143 days left of that stake, and we'll see. We'll see. And I put calendar alerts. I put a dollar amount to what I invested, and we will see what this is worth. Because I'm learning, you're learning, we're learning. And if this works, I gotta tell you, the 15-year one, I'll take you all out to the Maldives for a week on me, right?
I don't think if you live in the UK, maybe you're on vacation there. And most Israelis I meet, I like, but you, I don't like so much. So let me clarify something for you real quick, minus all the slander and libel. Hex has the most open and
by the way,
transparent
slander and
trades
libel,
in the
you have
entire
my full
world.
details right now, so you can actually sue me. And I'm very, very happy to be sued by you. And if you will need any other details
tip, bro.
in order to sue me for libel or defamation, I am happy to provide you with all the details.
This is weird now.
I've got your details. Congrats, angry guy who didn't do his research before the call.
No,
I thought it was funny when you were sharing your screen.
I'm an angry guy with regards to scammers like you stealing money from innocent victims. That's what I'm angry about.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but we have to finish now.
You understand that Hex
I'm sorry, and we have to finish now. So thank you for this discussion. And we've established that you are an MLM Ponzi scam.
So multi-level requires more than one level. We don't have that. Ponzi's require promises. We don't have any promises. The only thing that you could accuse us of is being a bubble. But since the price is up like 80x right now from 3 or 4 months ago, we haven't done the crashing bubble thing. So, but Bitcoin did, and Ethereum did. They just both dropped 75 and 65% 2 months ago. So I'm talking in a cryptocurrency panel to guys holding bags that both have dropped 95%, but think somehow that they get to gatekeep Hex, which is 1% of all Ethereum transactions, literally 1%, and has the most open and transparent trades in the whole world. But idiots like you don't go and do their research and actually look at who the trades are. I can tell you the majority of this run up was a single Ethereum whale. The Twitter, you would see who he was and when he got his coins. And there's no relation to any of this other bullshit that you're talking about. You can see who these people are. You can see what other coins they hold. You can see when they got in and when they got out. You're making up all these accusations about pumping up the fucking market and shilling at stuff. You know, it's all literally public. And as someone who says that you've researched over 400 ICOs, to not have done any of that research before this call on the most open and transparent trades in the world, on a normal centralized exchange, when someone buys, you have no idea what it is. When people buy on Uniswap, you know exactly who it is and when they sold and whether they won or lost money and whether they have stakes open and when they're expiring. It's the most open and transparent trades in the world. But then you accuse us of the opposite. We have a single tier referral that ends in 180 days, but you accuse us of being some MLM bullshit. You talk about all these victims. The only people that ever have hated Hex are people that have never fucking used it. So everything that you say is the opposite, but then you think you won a prize of some form. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you didn't win anything. You did a terrible, horrible job. Okay? I don't understand why you don't love Hex. Hex does everything that DeFi was supposed to do better. No admin keys, shutting shit down. You know who else has admin keys in DeFi? Fucking everybody. They all have humans in control. Hex has no humans, no admin keys. The contract cannot be turned off. It cannot be stopped. You cannot pause or stop Uniswap. You cannot pause or stop Hex. There are no secret keys. There are no secret functions. It has 3 audits. Who the fuck else has 3 audits? Like, everything Hex does, it does better. It's gas efficient. It's not clogging up the network. Like, it does so many amazing things. And you give it not only no credit, but accuse it of the opposite of all the things it does. And as far as saving people from getting scammed, people get scammed all day, every fucking day, and it's tragic. And the only way to save those people is to give the regulators more money and more manpower, but they don't have the law on their side. They can only act after the fact, and they never get the money back. So it's just everyone loses their money, and then someone goes to jail, but they never get the money back. That's not a good system. So what else can you do to try and save these people? You have to get their money out of their hands into something safe, whether it's an S&P 500, whether it's some other index, or whether it's an honest cryptocurrency, which is still extremely volatile, but has less likelihood of exit scam bullshit. Hex copies and uses effective marketing tactics that are used all over the world, but gets people into an honest project without the admin key exit scam bullshit. And so, like Trayvon James that used to promote BitConnect, he now promotes Hex. Guess what? That's a win. Getting a guy that's effective at marketing to promote a good project instead of fucking scams is a win for the world. So I'm out there actually starving scams of money, and you're yelling that we're a scam. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm doing more to protect these people's fucking assets by building something that's open source and trustless. But you're here on a panel of guys that are going to tell you, oh, give us your private keys for interest or some shit. You know how many people want your private keys? Hex doesn't want your fucking private keys.
Thank you for that. And I think that we finished. So I'll say that the only thing that I actually value and respect is the fact that you showed up today and you didn't run away from this discussion. Beside that, I'm sure that the viewers would love to know later on if you are willing to disclose your details instead of all the anonymity
You pussy. Quit trying to
claims.
interrogate me. Jesus.
And I'm giving the back to Shiva to continue on with our next discussion.
Wow. Well, there you go, folks. Hey, Peter, thanks for following, man. Thanks for becoming a giver by subscribing. Cheers, man. I mean, just to answer some questions in the chat. So you can't cash out for 15 years. That's correct on that stake. That's just one of the 4 stakes I've got. I'm just concerned it's a big shell game. Benon, what do you have to say about the Big Payday saga? So on Big Payday, I mean, so Big Payday, to put it in a nutshell, there was a hell of a lot of people that staked on Big Payday. So everybody staked in and then they pulled out after Big Payday. So Big Payday was a reward for you getting in before a date. So it was like, well, we got this plan, we got this project, it's called Hex, up until a particular day. So we launch it on day A, and then by the day we get to day Z, we're going to give you a reward if you're interested in getting in before this arbitrary cutoff day. Now, what we saw happen was during the run-up to Big Payday, a lot of stakers staked in. So there was 97% of Hex was staked in, and then the moment Big Payday finished, those were unstaked. Now, at that point, you've got whales that are earning a lot of interest because they staked in and unstaked. They got such big pools of Hex. So what did we earn from that? We also earned from their unstaking. So that's what I'm saying. Like, from someone who's literally got in about, about a week and a half before Big Payday, I earned the interest of those stakers that staked in, tried to cash in on it, and then pulled out and ran at the end. We earned the money off them. It wasn't as big as the projected, so there was an estimated Big Payday reward, and that dropped drastically from what it was. For me, it was like over 100%, and it went down to about 30% by the end. But that's not anything. That's nothing to be concerned with, simply because that's not the project. The project is the long-term investment. So in my case, 15 years, 5 years, 1 year, and 150 days. That's the project length. Big Payday was like an incentive, if you like, almost like a token reward for getting in quick, if you like. So I'm not really concerned with that. To me, I got a little extra bonus Hex in my wallet, and I'm happy to go with that. Tim, sadly, in 15 years' time, the Maldives may be a diving location rather than above sea level holiday location. Well, folks, I want to thank you for a wonderful stream. If you are interested in following along with this, we do a crypto stream every Wednesday on DLive. If you want to come along and join in, we're going to talk about this, not just Hex, we talk about other cryptos as well. But yeah, this has been a fun stream, and if you want to see me drink some more of this later on DLive, I'm going to mix it with Coke and also some on the rocks. I'm going to go for a surf now, though, folks, so I'll see you all next week on the live stream. Where's my water? I'm out of water. Shit. Cheers. I'll get some more water. Shuffles.